Chat, we actually have an insane story today. I had a core memory. Is that it? A core memory? I had a skibbity this past weekend. A canon event occurred. That's it. Because I went to my first ever movie premiere. And I already hear it. Out of touch Ludwig, rich little Ludwig, off to his movie premieres, gonna regale us with the tales of the celebrities he mingled with. But this movie premiere went horribly wrong. Because, again, I need to say this one more time. I went to my first movie premiere. So I don't really know how movie premieres work. And I wasn't invited to this movie premiere in a normal fashion. Now, if you guys watch The Yard, you might know that we had Hank Green on The Yard. Hank Green, very funny guy. Hank Green has a brother, John Green. You might have heard of him because he did some things on a website called Tumblr years ago. Or, more importantly, he wrote a couple of damn books. Very famous books. Fault in Our Stars, which became a movie. And also Turtles All the Way Down, which just had a premiere in LA this past weekend. So I went to the premiere for John Green's movie, Turtles All the Way Down. And I was invited, I'm very flattered by this. I was invited by John directly. Hank sent me like a Twitter DM. He was like, hey, John wants to invite some people. Then he thought you'd be good to come to this premiere. Can I give him your email? And I gave him my email. And then John sent me an email, and it was very casual. In fact, I'm going to read out some of the email right now. I don't feel bad leaking this because it was so breezy and casual. John sends me a message. Hank first, he CCs me. He goes, hey, John, this is Ludwig. He has a thing the same day as the premiere. He just wants to know what time the movie premiere is at. Because bear in mind, this movie premiere was the same day that I did the Bro vs. Bro against Linus Tech Tips. So I was like, I'm not sure if I can make it. I would love to. I'm not sure. John replies, he goes, Ludwig, great to meet you. The premiere's at 4 for the red carpet stuff and 5 for the actual movie. There's a reception after, so we'll all hang out there. You can come. No worries if you can't come, but it'd be great to have you. And it always is fun to attend a movie premiere. Plus, the movie's pretty good, John. And I replied to that message 9 days later, the day before the premiere, in all capitals, hello, John, and thank you, Hank. Can I have a +1, please? I don't check my email. You got him, officer, right here. The guy who doesn't read his email because he's not fucking 37 years old. Sorry to John and Hank. I do all my communications on Discord, Twitter if I have to. Anyway, John replies. He says, of course you can have a +1. And the reason I needed a +1, you might think, is because I was going to invite my girlfriend, Cutie. But in fact, she was busy that day. So I instead decided to invite Squeaks. Because Squeaks was coming in town for unpaid intern, and he actually landed the same time the movie premiere started. So I was like, well, that's perfect. Rather than you just like showing up to my house and I'm at a movie premiere instead of hosting you, kind of like an asshole. What if instead you take your little tookus down to the premiere and we meet there together? So that's the game plan. Anyway, fast forward to day of the movie premiere. Again, 4 o'clock red carpet, 5 o'clock it starts. If you watched the Bro vs. Bro against Linus Tech Tips, you will remember it ended at 4:15. And if you have ever been to Los Angeles, you know that getting into your car at 4:15 p.m., weekday or weekend, it's not a good thing to do. It is tough. And boy, did the traffic hit. And all I'm doing is I'm driving, and I'm just looking at my phone. It's on the dash. And I'm seeing it go from 4:59 arrival time to 5:05, 5:10, 5:15, 5:20. And finally, I arrived to the venue at 5:22. That is late. Now, I've never been to a premiere, so I'm like, whatever. I will do my best with what I got. Now, I meet Squeaks there, and this is important just for reference. I, again, have never been to a movie premiere. And the way John Green was messaging me very breezily, I figured you could just kind of roll up to this thing, have a good time. Now, I know you're not supposed to be late, so I initially felt bad. What I didn't realize is that movie premieres is an occasion to dress up. It is not something you roll up to. Let's say I'm just throwing out something random in a Red Bull shirt and a Zelda Tears of the Kingdom t-shirt, which is exactly what me and Squeaks did. I am literally wearing a Red Bull sponsored t-shirt as a Red Bull athlete, and Squeaks is wearing a Korok. What do you call those fuckers? And you can't see it. I'm also wearing Crocs. You know it's bad because John Green replied to my Instagram post. By the way, follow me on Instagram and said, "Loved having you there and you looked great, period." I'm starting to think that might have been ironic. So instantly we find out we are underdressed. But we're like, whatever. We just need to make our way to the theater and start watching the damned movie because that's what a premiere is all about. Ultimately, it doesn't matter what you look like because we're all here to just watch a movie. It's fine. And so we go in. There's like a little reception area. We grab some popcorn and some drinks. And then we walk into the entrance. And at the entrance, there's an usher. And the usher looks at us, recognizes us somehow. And she goes, "Oh, your seats are in the very front." And I literally turn to this usher and I go, "Are you fucking with me?" And she goes, "No, they're the only seats left." Now, this is not a normal theater. I'm going to show you a picture of the theater while it was empty. So this is the theater. It's very cute. It's very cozy. It's not a huge theater by any means because, again, it's a premiere. It's for friends, family of the actors, actresses, directors, screenwriters who are involved in this product. Very intimate atmosphere. And our seats were these two. Smack dab in the middle at the very front row. And because this is a smaller than normal theater, as we are walking to our seats, again, 15 minutes after this movie had already started, you can see the silhouette of my big ass fucking hair and Squeaks' big ass head bouncing on through. And I go to sit down on my seat and I'm like, fine. At least we're here now. We don't have to get up again. We can watch the rest of the movie. Or so I thought. Because as I sit down and I go to put my phone on silent and darken the screen and put it on Do Not Disturb, I see a Discord message. This is literally as I'm putting it away. And I naturally have the phone towards me. My phone auto unlocks because Face ID and the message pops up. And I read a message from Linus Tech Tips that says, "Hey, I'm sorry. I believe my wife forgot her purse at your studio. Could you please unlock the door?" And I'm like, no. Nightmare. Because I know it's after 5. It's a weekend. Nobody's there. I don't know how to get him in. And I'm not going to text while at this theater. I wouldn't dream of being that guy. And I don't want to get up right away either. Right? You might think, "Oh, Ludwig, just get up and handle it." But like, I just did this whole fucking rigmarole where my big ass head bounced through the screen. I want to get up again. So I wait. I will say, I do rattle off just one message to Linus, which is simply the code that he needs to get in. That's it. Right before I go, boop, 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 it's like 4 numbers, and then I throw the phone away. And then I proceed to watch the movie. In the movie, if I can say this is not the point of the story. I'm not sponsored by John Green. I know I was invited, so there's some maybe bias in there, but I have to say, it was fucking funny, dude. I'm watching it. I'm enthralled. I've never read Turtles All the Way Down. I will come clean. I read a couple of John Green books in high school because a girl that I liked John Green. So I'd read Paper Towns. I had read Fault in Our Stars. Okay, sue me. You read a book that a girl that you likes, and you hope that's a good way to start a conversation. It's not a bad idea. I call it W-Riz. But I'm watching the movie, and if you've ever listened to The Yard, you might have heard one of the guys on the podcast talk about what it is like watching a movie with me. I have a weird laugh. Okay? I'm just going to say I have a weird laugh. I don't laugh like everybody else. When I'm watching a movie, the way that I laugh, as I'll be watching it, right? Got my drink. Ha! Ha! And that's how I watch. I'll just let out a loud one, all caps, H-A. And I'm not like exaggerating this. I'm not doing it for show. I do it in private. I do it in public. I do it in theaters. I do it on my couch at my house. That is how I laugh. If I find something funny, I will laugh like that. There's another layer that I have to say. I laugh like that at funny parts, but also at parts that aren't funny on paper, but I find funny. And maybe that's like something that's a little awkward, a line that caught me off guard. So I laugh at times that are occasionally inopportune. Well, at this movie, it's about this girl who has health anxiety. And occasionally she feels like her health anxiety controls her own actions. And she has this very intense heart-to-heart with a professor of philosophy at a college she wants to go to. It's spoilers, but it's not really spoilers. But basically she asks the professor, she says, "Professor, I don't think I'm real." And I go, ha! Because I didn't expect the line. The line before that was the professor saying, "Hey, I got to go to class." And so I thought it was like, "Hey, end the conversation." Instead, she whips that out of nowhere. And I'm like, son of a bitch, that caught me off guard. Theater is quiet. I was a little embarrassed by this. So I took this opportunity to take a quick bathroom break, to which I received about 30 texts from Linus. And I was like, oh no. And it basically went like, what do these numbers mean? What am I supposed to do? Can I get in? Hello? Ludwig? And then I'm like, oh no. And then they keep coming and it's like, okay, just kidding. Got the purse. Had to wrestle it off a guy. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? But they got it. They got the purse. I don't know who they had to wrestle. I was like, okay, I go back in the movie. We finish the movie out. Again, can't say anything but positive things for this movie. Anyway, the movie ends and we are ushered into the reception area. Because again, there's supposed to be a reception after. I remember John Green told us about this. And lucky for us, people we recognize are showing up. In fact, I saw Jarvis, Zach from the Try Guys, Matt Pat shows up. You know, a lot of YouTubers that I recognize. So I'm like, oh my God, hello guys, what's up? I didn't know you were here. And they all look fucking like amazing. And then we look like a couple of bums. So I'm making conversation about that. I'm like, dude, you guys look fucking great. Look at us. We look like a couple pieces of shit. And then in that group, what I start doing is I start pointing out people who I think are the actors and actresses in the movie in real life. I'm like, dude, that's the girl Daisy. And then everyone in the group would go look at them, but like, you don't want to be too obvious. So they'd be like sly. They'd be like, imagine you're the person who I thought is Daisy. They'd be like, no, Ludwig, that's actually just another fucking handsome guy. Ludwig, that's not fucking Daisy. That's just another woman with a dress on. So I go like 0 for 3. And then eventually, I'm like, dude, that's the girl from Spider-Man 2, Kirsten Dunst. And they do the same thing and they go, dude, that's fucking Kirsten Dunst. And Kirsten Dunst is at this movie premiere. The first thing that Squeak says when he realizes Kirsten Dunst is there is he goes, oh shit, my mom loves Kirsten Dunst. Let's get a pic with her. And so we have this side mission that forms to eventually get a picture with Kirsten Dunst. Now, I don't know if he made that up or if he just wanted to get a fucking picture with her, but a side mission forms. Before we can pursue said side mission, John Green enters. And again, he's like a fucking rock star. Wrote the book that became the movie. And so instantly everyone's crowding around him. And I'm like not trying to fucking edge my way to the front, but he happens to see a big group of YouTubers and he comes up and he greets us all. And I never met John before. So I go, John, it's great to meet you. I used to watch fucking Vlogbrothers back in the day. And the movie was amazing. He's like, dude, hell yeah. And I have to say, and he's fully allowed to, but John was getting his drink on. I mean, he just had a movie come out. He's getting his drink on. Let's go, John. And so John comes over and he's like, Ludwig, you look fucking great, man. Don't even worry about wearing those Crocs. And I'm like, John, I didn't bring anything up about that. He's like, don't even worry about that weird Zelda shirt. What's your name again? Squeaks? Weird name. Don't even worry about that. I'm like, thanks, John. He's like, by the way, have you met Isabella? I'm like, what? No, who's that? He's like, well, that's the main actress in the movie. She's right there. And I'm like, what? Wait, she's actually here? Because again, I've been calling random people the main actors and actresses in the movie for the past like 15 minutes. And he's like, yeah, come on over. So me and Squeaks kind of like begrudgingly are following John. And he goes, Isabella, this is Ludwig and Squeaks. Ludwig and Squeaks, Isabella. And then instantly leaves. He basically does that introduction and then he's, which is fine. I get it. He's like the guy in the building. Everyone wants to talk to him. But then I'm just sitting there and I'm like, so good movie. She's like, yep. And I'm trying to think of something to say. And the only thing I can think of is I'm like, is it hard being an actress when the movie's over? You know, like the press tour stuff? And she thinks for a moment, she goes, no, I mean, I think it's harder doing the acting. But I will say, and she goes into a little story. She goes, this is my second time actually watching the movie. because we did a much larger premiere for an audience of about 1,600, and this was a more intimate premiere with like friends and family. And I was quite nervous during the first movie premiere because I didn't know how people would receive the movie. But this premiere was going a lot better. I was like, well, that's good. And she's like, yeah, because there was this guy. And I was like, this guy? She's like, yeah, when I was watching the movie, there was this guy who every 10 minutes or so would just laugh like this. Ha! I swear at the most random times, he would just go, ha! And it would make me laugh because I was like, who's this guy? And the blood drains from my face, and I'm just looking at her. I'm like, Isabella, that's me. She's like, what? I'm like, Isabella. In almost like a Cinderella trying to prove my foot fits the glass slipper, I go, ha! And she recognizes it instantly. And I can see her face turn red. And my face turns red because I'm embarrassed. Because I've been embarrassed about, by the way, this way that I laugh for years. My friends do not let me forget about how weird and loud it is. And so it's something that I know that I do, but I don't do it consciously. I do it subconsciously. I'm a little embarrassed by the fact that I do it. And now my worst nightmare has come true. Where I have not only been called out for doing this weird fucking laugh, I've been called out by the main actress in the movie. This sounds fake, guys. I promise you this fucking happened. And I'm sitting there and I'm literally like stammering. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I just laugh like that sometimes. It's fucking weird. I don't know why I laugh like that. She's like, no, it's okay that you laugh like that. Actually, it made the movie a little easier for me to watch because, like, you know, you do it at weird times, like that scene with the professor. I was like, not the scene with the professor. It's not because you deliver the line bad. It's just because I didn't expect it. I didn't expect the line. She's like, you didn't expect the line. That's fine. She turns around, red from embarrassment, laughs a little bit, and she goes, I'm gonna get a drink. She left the venue. I didn't see her the rest of the night. I am not lying, man. I didn't see her the rest of the night. I think she might have moved her flight up to leave the fucking city earlier. And I was like, oh. And I'm sitting there, and literally all I'm thinking about is like, man, I have to tell Squeaks what just happened. But before I can, the moment Squeaks comes up, because he was like in a little side conversation, up comes two guys who are looking at me the whole time. They're giving me these. And I've been doing this game long enough. I know if it's two guys who look like they're in college, they've probably seen my ass before on this channel. I'm not saying that cockily, but if they're giving me side eye and they're in my demo, there's a chance they might have seen something. They might be a Ludbud. And lo and behold, they come up and they go, are you Ludwig? And I'm like, yep. And they go, dude, dude, what's up, man? What's up? And it turns out that those two guys were the brother and the neighbor of Isabella, the girl who had just brought up my laugh. They had somehow filled the void that she had just left, not knowing the conversation that we just had randomly coming up because you're Ludwig. And we're talking, we're vibing out. And the conversation winds down. You know, it was a pretty easy conversation. We talked for maybe 10 minutes. Me, Squeaks, talking about Twitch, them talking about Twitch, whatever. But it dies down as conversations do. And so I do the natural exit. I heard this move earlier. I go, hey, you know what? I'm going to get a drink, but it's been great to get to know you guys, you know, and I hope the streaming thing works out. And he goes, dude, appreciate it. And before you go, I just want to say, man, I've been watching you since 2017. And I'm like, I had about 5 average viewers. I played Getting Over It to Dr. Battle. It's not a lot of people. Look, this is literally it. 2017, I streamed about 12 times. I had 12 average viewers. My follow count was 116. I'm like, you're part of those 100? I mean, maybe you got the year wrong. Maybe he got very easy to get the year wrong. So I go, thanks, man. I appreciate that. It's crazy. He goes, yeah. Dude, your PO unboxing for Christmas? Crazy. The things people send you, that's so funny. And I'm like, well, I mean, I've done a couple of unboxings. Maybe, you know, I have Jackie Chan. I've done one for Christmas before. It wasn't 2017, though. And he's like, yeah, man, dude, when you got that God of War statue, oh, fuck, you still got that? And then time slowed down a bit, and I'm like, God of War statue. And I'm having, like, That's So Raven flashbacks. to Soda Poppin', who for the Christmas unboxing got a Kratos God of War statue, a stream that I vividly remember watching. And I'm like, this motherfucker just thinks I'm Soda Poppin'. Like, he knows my name is Ludwig, but he thinks that I'm Soda Poppin', the Twitch streamer. And I am not in the position where I'm going to be like, whoa, hold on there, buddy. Sorry, I'm the Jump King guy. So instead I go, still got it. And he goes, that's sick. And I go, hell yeah. And then I fucking walk my ass out of there. And I'm like, I'm melting at this point. Because these conversations, they're crazy. I cannot believe the interactions that I am having here. And we go to the bar, and I'm getting a stiff one. And we're sitting, and me and Squeaks are talking a bit. And I'm telling him everything that happened. And he goes, well, hey, this night's been fucking crazy. You've had a lot of weird conversations. Why not one more? I'm like, what? He's like, I want a picture with Kirsten Dunst. Well, I'm like, why don't you fucking go up and ask her? And then he up and says it. He goes, well, I'm too much of a fucking pussy, so you do it. You do it. You get the picture. You do the conversation. And I'm like, fine. Because what else can I lose, man? What else can I lose? I've been mistaken for Soda Poppin'. I'm the guy with the weird fucking laugh. I showed up late. I look like a piece of shit. Why not, man? Why not? So in a W friend move, I walk right up to Kirsten Dunst. She's in a big group of 4 people. And I stand outside the group for about 1 minute, and they don't make eye contact with me, and I leave. And I'm like, this is going to be harder than I thought. 2 times I stand outside of her circle, nothing. And then I go back to Squeaks. Is like, I need a game plan. I can't go in raw dog. It is not working. I need something to say. Because, like, the only movie I have seen with Kirsten Dunst is the Spider-Man movies. And I'm thinking of, like, the interactions I've had. I get, not annoyed, but it's not the best interaction I've ever had if someone comes up to me and they go, hey, man, I watched the subathon. Can I get a picture? Because then it's like, well, bro, you barely know me. You just want a picture to have a picture like I'm a Pokemon card. And I don't want to go up to her, same thing, and be like, I watched Spider-Man 20 years ago. Can I get a picture now? Because that feels a little fucking disingenuous. Feels like a little transactional. So I do something. I'm not proud of this. I do not do this. I should not have done this. But ultimately, I am doing this for Squeaks. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, Squeaks, we need a movie. He's like, what? I'm like, we need a movie. I need a story that I can tell her that makes this interaction a little more bearable for her. Because I can't say fucking Spider-Man, and I don't want to just go up and say, hey, give me a picture now. And he's like, okay, yeah, makes sense. So we go to her Wikipedia, and we're scrolling through. And we end up on her collaboration with Sofia Coppola. And he's like, oh, yeah, great. Well, I think this one's like one of the first ones. Let's do Virgin Suicides. I think I remember that movie. That's what he says. He's like, yeah, I think my mom watched it. Well, let's do Virgin Suicides. I'm like, okay, sure. And so that's the movie we end up on. I've never seen the movie, but I'm like, this will work. And eventually I go into her circle again. I wait a little longer than I did in the previous 2 times. And eventually she turns and she goes, hello? And I go, hi, Kirsten. I'm sorry. I'm Ludwig. This is my friend Squeaks. And she does a double take the moment I say Squeaks. She goes, and I go, anyway, we're just big fans. We think you're an amazing actress. We watch the Virgin Suicides every year together. And she goes, stop. Every year? And at this point, I don't really know why she reacted like that, but I'm like, yeah, every year. And Squeaks is like behind me. He's like, yeah, we watch it every year. It's a great movie. Anyway, would you mind if we got a picture? And her face is still like fucking like we're the weirdest motherfuckers in the world. She's like, sure, yeah, we can do a picture. And we snap one. And then I'm trying to run out of there. I hate being in this situation. I didn't like having to lie to her. I feel kind of like an asshole. I don't want to have to do this in the first place. And then she goes, sorry. I feel like that was a bad picture. Can we take it again? And let me tell you, her ass is right. The picture was bad. So I take it again. Second one, not much better. I don't think she cared enough to ask for a third, but this is the picture we ended up with. It's me, Squeaks, and Kirsten Dunst. All right? Not bad. Not bad. Hey, she looks better than us. That's goddamn Kirsten Dunst. Looking great. And then me and Squeaks walk away. And we realize, like, hey, that was kind of a weird reaction that she had. Like, I wonder why she reacted that way. So we decided to look up the premise for the Virgin Suicides. And I'm going to read you the synopsis of the movie right now. Bear in mind, this will contain spoilers. But I think it's important. In an ordinary suburban house on a lovely tree-lined street in the middle of the 1970s America lived the 5 beautiful, dreamy Lisbon sisters, whose doomed fates inevitably marked the neighborhood boys who to this day continue to obsess over them. A story of love and repression, fantasy, terror, sex and death, memory and longing. It is at its core a mystery story of the 5 girls who all have different ways that they are going to kill themselves, and the boys who attempt and fail to stop their suicides. So it's just about, as the title would have suggested, a bunch of virgins who kill themselves in very descriptive and visually disturbing ways. And me and Squeaks, 2 30-year-old looking men, are watching this movie where a bunch of high schoolers kill themselves in really fucking gross ways, like slitting their damn wrists every year. Every year we watch these girls kill themselves. We go, yay! I wish there was more virgins and more suicide. No fucking wonder she thought we were psychopaths. We're the only motherfuckers who have ever said that to her ever. God damn it, bro. And then we leave driving off in the LA fucking sky in the LA night, talking about all the insane social interactions that have happened throughout this movie premiere. And I can only leave with 3 valuable lessons. 1, if you ever go to a movie premiere, show up on time. 2, dress like it's a fucking movie premiere and not like you are going to work out at the YMCA. And 3, and I cannot stress this enough, don't talk to anyone. And I mean anyone who is famous, because it only goes to shit. Just give them an idol and then walk by. It's better for everybody, baby. It's better for everybody. I fucked up, man. I can't be talking to these celebs.